Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Business Class. I hope you're well. What I would love today is if you could send me a DM on Instagram and tell me where you're listening from and what you're doing. Because I find it fascinating when people are like, I've just been listening to you while I've been walking my dogs this morning, or when people actually say I'm listening to you on a plane or even in business class, perhaps, if we have more budget. I just find it absolutely fascinating. So that would make my day if you sent me a message and told me where you're listening from and what you're doing. I promise you, I will see it. I will respond. I just find it fascinating. Just had to say that. So what I'm going to speak about today is, again, probably my second most requested episode. And I really want to do it off the back of my other episode that I did about how to go viral on social media, is how to build a personal brand as a business owner, because I feel like the pressure is a lot higher as business owners nowadays to have a personal brand. And I personally believe that we all need one. So I'm going to tell you how it's helped me, how I did it, the doors that it's opened for me, my strategy, blah, blah, blah. So before I do that, of course, I've got to do my takeoffs and departures. So my takeoff this week is actually that I have just been enjoying the fact that Love Island's back on. I feel like I shouldn't really say that, but I just love a bit of trash TV. And I actually think it's completely false when people say, you know, people that watch Love Island have no brain cells, or people that watch Love Island are what's wrong with society today. When you have such a high demand, high pressure job, there is nothing better than just sitting and watching TV that fries your brain, where you've got to use no brain cells to watch it, and it's just easy to watch. Like, one of my favorite things to do is watch like a really cringy Netflix film like The Kissing Booth, or what's it called? The Summer I Turned Pretty, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Oh, I just love it, because it's just like, life is so serious. I just love watching stuff where it doesn't really require much brain power. And I've just loved this week finishing work, making my tea, get into bed, get all cozy, have a little snack, and just watching Love Island. I love it. My departure this week, I would say something that I'm really struggling with is sort of stepping out of my business. So I feel like for the past few years, I've built it up and I've been such a big part of my business where it's like, if I'm not there, it can't run. And because of my personal brand and the opportunities that it's brought me, I can't always be in my business because I'm like a speaker now. I do my own collaborations, events, things like that. And it's almost like a full-time job in itself. So I would say I've found it really hard the past couple of months to step out a bit more for so many reasons. I feel like I get really emotional because it's like my baby, my business, and it feels weird that I don't know what's going on with it all the time. And I don't know if something's going wrong, which of course I do, and they let me know, but I feel like I'm much less involved in it now. And because I want to have like children in the next few years, I want to get to a point where I'm like, it doesn't rely on me at all. Like, I can step away and it'll be fine and it'll run itself. So I think I say it's a departure. I guess it's a good thing that I'm at that stage where I can do that, but I found it really difficult to do. But I think it's so important, as I always say, if you're always in a business, you can never work. Wait, what was it? If you're working in your business, you can't work on your business. So you can't develop and grow your business if you're always in it. Has been something that has really stuck with me. So let's dive on into today's episode, all around how to build a strong personal brand. Okay, so a personal brand, for those of you who may not know, is when you are literally building almost like another online persona aside from your business. So it's like you're growing your own TikTok, your own Instagram. It's just who you are as a person. You know, if you're showing up to events, how you want to come across. I personally think a personal brand goes way beyond social media. It's like the colors you wear. Like, I'm always in my neutrals, how you behave, the products that you use, like you are your personal brand. And in terms of how a personal brand has helped me, in case you're on the fence about whether I should start one, and I will speak about pros and cons, how it's helped me, when I started, we were literally inundated with inquiries because I really focused on it. It has allowed me to do speaking gigs. It's allowed me to reach more clients. It's allowed the business to get more credibility. Another amazing side, which has been an extra revenue stream, has been things like collaboration. So I now will get paid to almost be like an influencer, if I dare say. So I'm literally getting paid by brands to just speak about their brand in social media posts. And it's now another revenue stream. And also, not to toot my own horn, but it really does position you as like the best in your industry, the go-to in your industry, where when people think about social media, they think of me and my business. Like we are the people to go to in our industry. And we weren't before I started my personal brand. So for me, it's been huge. And yes, by God, it's had its ups and downs. It is so hard. I'd say the cons of having a personal brand is that your business becomes everyone else's business. So any mistake you ever made gets scrutinized and criticized. You're making mistakes in front of people. That's their first perception of you. So I had to really watch my language when I was speaking online. I don't mean like swearing. I mean like, say if I was doing a day in the life vlog and I was like, oh, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know, our client onboarding system because it's not very good at the minute. A potential client could hear that and go, well, hold on a minute. I'm not going to work with a company that hasn't got a good onboarding system or that isn't organized. So you have to really watch what you say because that is where, again, potential clients and customers found you. And I think in general, like there is a lot of debate at the minute whether founders should or should not have a personal brand because we shall name no names, but there's been a lot of founders under heat at the minute for doing things wrong, saying things wrong. And like, yes, rightly so, if someone does something wrong, we should call them out. But I just think it's so also bold and brave for founders to share their story, to share their mistakes and their learnings with people. And then it's hard enough when you get people pick you apart piece by piece. It is hard, but the good, I believe, outweighs the bad. And I think that if you are really serious about taking your business to the next level and wanting to be the best in your industry, you need to have a strong personal brand. So in terms of some statistics to back up what I'm saying, just in case you're like, oh, I'm still not convinced, 82% of people are more likely to trust a company when its senior execs are active on social media. 92% of people trust recommendations from people, even if they don't know them, over brands. And 82% of people are more likely to buy if the CEO is active on social media, which I think is crazy. And it's true. Like I have bought into so many brands because I love the founder's story or I love what they represent. So I think if you're thinking about starting a personal brand, I would say to just do it. But also I think I saw a woman the other day, I think it was on Instagram Reels, maybe a TikTok, I don't know. She was having a full meltdown on camera. I felt quite bad for her. And she was saying that she has started this business and it's doing really well. And she feels this massive pressure to build a personal brand and to be like a business influencer. And she was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. And I think that whilst all of what I'm saying is important, there are some people that have built an incredibly successful business and we don't even know who they are. One of my favorite brands, Sisters and Seekers, the owners of that, they're two sisters and they are rarely in front of the camera. They rarely post on like their own channels and the business does amazing. But the reason why is because they have got other people to be the faces of their business. So if you're like, this is really not for me, you can have a member of your team be the face of your business, someone else, UGC creators. I just think that in general, there does need to be a face to a business because people trust a face. So in terms of thinking about, okay, you're like, Vicky, I hear you. I want to build a personal brand. How do I do it? So I think you should focus on one platform to start with. So Instagram or TikTok. I'll always recommend TikTok because you can just grow wildly on there really fast. And when I was growing, I would say I first thought about why I was doing it. So why should I commit to potentially hours a day when I don't really have time to do it to something that at first isn't going to make me any money? Because you've got to see the longer term vision to doing it. And I knew that if I committed to doing this, it would get us more followers on our brand account, it would get us more clients, and it would make us more money. So I literally set aside time for this every single day. I posted 3 times a day. Yes, it was intense. Yes, I know you don't want to post 3 times a day, but you've just got to think of the bigger reason why you are doing it. Like, can't even stress it enough. So 3 times a day. I had my hashtag strategy right, which if you want to learn a bit more about what hashtags to use on TikTok and Instagram, you can go to my social media episode that I did a few back and I go into all the specifics. One of the most important things, I shared my story. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed when I speak to people that I've met that watch my content or at events that we've done is that people say, like, I don't have an interesting story and I don't know what to say. Like, everyone has a story. Everyone. No one has like a really boring story like, yeah, I was just born, went to school, grew up, and now I own a business. No one's life is like that. Every single person has a story. Everyone's struggled with something. Everyone's learned something. Everyone usually, I find, we've all been through something traumatic in our lives. That is your journey and that is your story. Like, why have you started your business? And that is your story. The next thing that I did to grow so fast was to think of a really solid journey that people can follow along. And that is not just sharing, my business or the journey of starting my business. It was when you see a day 1, day 2, day 3, it needs to be something that people can literally grow with you. So I did 10,000 followers in 10 days. I did day 1 of trying to get on Forbes 30 under 30 list. I'm trying to think if there's any more that I've done. I think they're the main ones that I did that gained me the most traction. So you need to think of what is your thing that you're going to focus on. So like, what's your industry? Are you in social media? Are you in fashion? What is it? Can you commit to posting 1 time a day or 3 times a day? Getting your hashtag strategy right, getting your story nailed, and then sharing some sort of a journey. And it has to have a really strong end goal. So when I was posting, I would sort of circle through founder-based content, storytime content, value content has to be at the forefront. Again, I don't want to repeat myself too much from my last social media episode, but value is so important when you're growing. You literally want it to be the least selfish thing in the world. And I think that's where a lot of people who are growing founder accounts make a big mistake, because they're like, I'm going to share what it's like to grow a business. I'm going to share the behind the scenes of growing my business. But I'm going to be honest with you, no one cares because they don't know who you are. Like, if a big celebrity with a business, like Selena Gomez, her business, if she started sharing day in the life, showing us what her business looks like and, her in business meetings, it'd be so interesting. I'd love to know. But if I just see a TikTok on my For You page where it's like, day in the life of a small business owner, I'm like, I literally have no connection to them. I don't care. But if you're offering people value, they will care. So yes, you can do a day in the life. Yes, you can film yourself packaging orders, meeting people, but you have to offer people value on top of that. So the footage could be of your day in the life, but the voiceover could say, this mistake cost me £5,000. Here's like the biggest mistake I've made since starting a business. You got people hooked straight away and they're learning from it. Another thing that is absolutely crucial for building a personal brand that I don't see many people speaking about is the power of repetition. So when I was growing, I shared my story. I think it got like 1 million views and I was like, oh, people like this. People like to see it. So I shared it again as a carousel and I tried to think about the different ways I could share it. So if something's done well, share it again as a carousel, share it again as B-roll with a voiceover if it was you speaking. But don't be afraid to repeat content. So I would say when I was growing at the start, at least once a week, I would share my story, because when you're posting, especially on TikTok, when you post, no one knows who you are. So you can just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it feels annoying. I would post and sometimes say to my friends like, oh, I'm really sorry that you follow me on TikTok at the minute because I'm constantly speaking about myself on my story. And I felt really like up myself and, all those like negative thoughts come out where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be speaking about myself too much. I shouldn't be shouting about my wins. Our British brains do that. But that is how I grew an engaged following, because that's how they knew me and they knew my story. And I share it a bit less now because I feel like everyone and their mothers know it. Like I'm like, how many more times can I speak about my story? But that's how it should be. People should know it inside and out. So they feel like they know you and they feel like they have a connection with you. So question again, I always get from people that I speak to or DM me is, how do I find the time to build a personal brand? And I think the honest truth is there's never really going to be enough time. If you're asking me how to find the time, you clearly don't have time at the minute. And it is, again, just going back to why are you doing it? Because if you want it badly enough, you'll find the time to do it, whether that is meaning that you wake up an hour or two earlier, which no one wants to do. It's just thinking about why you want to do it. Like, it is absolutely huge. Personal branding is huge. The success and opportunities that you get from it is huge. So you have to find time in your schedule. There's nothing I can say that will magically make you go, oh, so true, I'll do that. It's just got to be you that finds the time to do it. But what I would say is, if you have been saying to yourself for ages, I want to build a personal brand this year, I want to be just like her or just like him, do something small to make sure that it gets done. I think I spoke about this in my last episode about getting your foot in the door. So if you have been saying it for ages and you're listening to this episode and you're like, this is the push that I needed, do something small today to make sure that it gets done. So for me, a big block that I'm having at the minute is that I don't have time like everyone else. So sometimes my personal brand, now that I've built it, gets a bit neglected. So I try and post every day, but there's some days where I don't, because I'm like, oh my God, I just don't know what to post. I've got no time. So one small thing that I'm going to do this week is message a studio and book in for 2 hours. And then it's booked in and it's paid for, so I can't avoid it. I'm going to go in and just batch film like a month's worth of content, and then it's done. So trying to find small things that you can do to get it done. And then it's looking at whether you want to post daily or post weekly. And I think that the main thing when you are posting, especially at the start, is thinking of who you want to show up as. Like, are you showing up as an expert? Are you showing up as someone who's still learning? Because one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're building a personal brand, that I've seen a few people do, is the language that they use does not align with experts or industry leaders. And most people that are trying to build a personal brand, they want to show up as the best in their industry, so that it's like, she's the go-to girl for X, Y, and Z. And one of the worst things you can do is act desperate for followers. If you are a leader and an expert, you're posting content, you are very confident in what you're speaking about, and you're not asking people to follow. So like, I've seen a couple of people where they'll be like, follow for follow, or they'll be like, I don't know, taking a cute little video of them like sipping water from their Stanley Cup in their office, and they'll be like, just a girly trying to hit 10K and build her personal brand. Like, please follow me, support my journey. No, we've got to stop doing that. Like, we've got to stop it, because that is not industry leader vibes. And again, it comes all the way back to perception. Show up as an industry leader, show up as an expert, show up as confident. That's what people will buy into. If I was starting and I was like, guys, anyone that follows me this week, you'll get a follow back, follow for follow. You just lose your value. Like, it doesn't help you out at all. So I try and avoid doing that. Another thing that I owe a lot of my success in growing my personal brand so fast was trending topics. So making sure that I was one of the first people to speak about certain trending topics. So I would use Google, what's it called? Google Trends and TikTok Creative Center. I would be checking them every day. And because I was growing within social media, I was typing in social media to filter out the searches. And it was telling me what social media trends are trending, what social media channels were trending, sounds, whatever. And I was one of the first people to speak about it. So if there was an Instagram update, I would film a video as soon as it came out going, let's speak about the new Instagram update. And my video would do really well. And I would be known as the go-to person to go to within that industry. So trending topics is absolutely huge. Being on top of them is huge. I would say the only time when this becomes hard is because you've sort of got to be on top of it every single day. It just depends how bad you want it. Like, I think that is the honest truth about things like this. A personal brand is one of those things where it is definitely delayed gratification. It is a delayed reward. Because when you are trying to grow a business, you see personal branding as just another thing that you need to do. It's like, oh, I need to get on LinkedIn. I need to do this. I need to start a Facebook page. I need to do this. It's not one of those things that's like an essential, like, when you start a business and it's like, right, I need to register it on Companies House, or I need to trademark my business name. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have. And loads of it, I think, with personal brand, when people feel stuck, is to do with confidence and having the confidence to show up as an expert. And they're like, Vicky, I don't feel like an expert. They're like, what do I speak about? And so much of it is faking it. Like when I started and I didn't have any followers, because we all start from zero. Every single person you look up to or follow has started from zero. We've all had those times where I'm like, I just posted my video and it's only on 50 views. It's only got 2 likes and one of them's my mum. We've all been in that exact same position, every single one of us. So it's just thinking about, how badly do you want it? Like, how badly do you want to be the best in your industry, have so many doors open up for you? That overcomes your confidence. And believe it or not, like when I was first starting out doing mime and filming little videos in my office, I didn't really know what I was saying. I didn't really have the confidence to do it, but I was just like, I need this. Like, I really need to take my business to the next level. Like, I'm so tired of just being another person in my industry. I want to be different. I want to stand out. And as much as it can feel like personal branding is so saturated and everyone has a personal brand, it's not. It's like, it's almost like a normal thing now. It's like, if you have a business, you should have a personal brand. Like, I know a lot of people won't want to hear that. And sort of speaking of me filming in the early days, when I was filming in my office, I say early days, it was only like January 2024. Is that right? Yeah. So it's not even been that long. Like a year and a half, I would say. Is thinking about when you're starting to grow and you want people to know you, either a signature series or a signature editing style or a signature location. So when I started first growing, I filmed every single one of my videos face to camera in my office in the exact same spot with the same camera angle. And I think that really helped me out with growing, because as soon as you would see that little setup at my office, you know exactly who it was, what I was going to speak about, what you could get. And it just made it so easy. So you don't have to think about having a really fancy backdrop or where can I film, or, even renting out a studio. The power of, again, repetition is absolutely huge. And you almost want to say things till you're literally blue in the face. So just to simplify, if you're really serious about growing a personal brand, what you need to think of is the 3 pieces of content that you are going to post. So if you're posting 3 times a day, I would highly recommend, like I said, value as one of the posts. One of the posts being something maybe founder-based, where you are showing an insight into your business whilst you are adding some sort of value or some sort of interesting hook to keep people indulged in your story. And then I have the third one as the journey series, like day 1 of doing, day 2 of doing. Don't think you even understand how powerful that is. Like, I've already seen so many people implement that from my last video on TikTok. I'm like, oh, it makes me so happy because people are doing it. And it works. Like, it works every single time if you have a strong enough journey end goal. So when you've got that, you need to think of, actually, what's the first step? Because I don't know about you, but I listen to so many podcasts and I go on TikTok and save so many TikToks, and I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I just never do it. Like, is there something you can do literally right now while I am speaking in your ears that you can action to get this started? Can you book in a time slot at a content studio? Can you book an hour out of your diary on Thursday this week to go and grab a coffee and plan out what the ideas are going to be? Can you even just, everyone can do this literally right now, put into ChatGPT, I want to build a personal brand. I am this is what I do. Give me a few ideas for a signature series, and just let it think of it and let it see what comes out. But you have to commit to it. You have to. And it's no good doing it for a week and then finishing it. So it's almost like you need someone to hold you accountable for it. And I feel like I don't really have anyone really to hold me accountable for it. I just know that if I go a few days without posting, my engagement drops, and I'm like, who wants that? So once you've got the 3 main things planned, a lot of questions I get is like, how do you constantly think of things to talk about? A lot of things will be from inspiration, stuff I'll see online. It'll be from experiences that I've had when I'm having times where I'm having a proper like creative fog. I'll just redo something I've done before that's done well, or I'll rephrase it. So if one of my videos has performed well where it's like, here's the biggest mistake I made in business, it might be that I do another one where it's like, here's the 3 biggest mistakes I've made in business. And the great thing about TikTok is that no one knows if you're repeating things. Like you could literally post the same thing every day and no one would notice. It's just so important to constantly be posting content consistently. So if you're listening to this now and you've already got a personal brand, or you're like, Vicky, I've had a personal brand for a year and it's not taken off now, let's speak about why that might be. So I think that if you have got a personal brand and it's not taken off yet, you've got to be very harsh with yourself, as we always are. It's that your story isn't strong enough. Not enough people have resonated with it. You've not truly been consistent with it. Because that is a huge part of it. Like, I feel like mine only grew so fast because I was so consistent, and that's why it worked for me. So something isn't resonating because the story isn't resonating. And it's as simple as that. Like, the story you've shared is maybe you're not diving in deep enough. It's not concise enough. You've not said it enough times. And a lot of the time it is a case of you literally just saying it every day till people get it. And ask for feedback from people. If there's been, a story that you shared that's not done very well, ask for feedback from family and friends and like, do you think this is my story? Can I add more to it? Can I add less to it? So just to summarize, it has to be you that wants this badly enough. It has to be you that pushes yourself harder than anyone else to do this, because it is just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could just not do it really. Like, it doesn't actually make that much of a big difference. But please take me as like your inspiration from this. I was like a no one before I started my personal brand. I didn't know what I was doing. The business was doing well, but not like the scale that it's on now. And it literally happened in a matter of months because I prioritized it and I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to be better. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to have more business. And that's why I committed to it and stick to it. So take this as your inspiration. Please share with me how it goes. What are you finding hard? What are you finding are the blocks and the sticking points? Document your journey. And yeah, that's pretty much all from me. I feel like it was a short and sweet episode because whenever it's stuff to do with social media, I speak really fast because it's like I can do this in my sleep. So it ends up coming out of me way too fast. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate it 5 stars if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. On YouTube, please subscribe, like this video, leave me a comment, let me know how you found it, and I will see you in my next episode.